from a backdrop that, I was one person who was never, how do I put it? I never used to be ill myself, and my family would go ill and have this and that, but I was just one strong guy who would just go on like that. But then to all of a sudden get the news that you have got cancer, such a feared disease, it's devastating. And you've got a lot of questions that you're asking yourself. How did it come about? What happened? What went wrong? Why did I not feel these things? And just for you to all of a sudden have such a disease, you've got so many questions. You've got so many questions, and you are looking at your future, and you're saying, okay, people are telling you that if it's cancer, and it's the multiple myeloma is called a rare cancer. It's one of the rare cancers that we still have, and someone is telling you you've got this rare cancer. It actually says to you, if it's rare, it means probably it's not well known as yet, and how it's going to be treated is difficult. More to that, people tell you that no, if you have multiple myeloma, it's not reversible. It's just one way. It's just one. It will keep progressing until you're just gone. Then, yeah, you just see your world shattering just before you.
No, you've just graduated. You're doing well. You're now an engineer. Your business is thriving. Your family is all good, and the news come in.
Yes.
How does family accept that? How do they take it?
It was a difficult time. It was a difficult time, and they it's like they don't even know what to do. Fortunately, my wife was very strong for me. If it was not for her, because we had to spend time together from then on, because I had to move to hospitals, and where I was, she was always there, and she was just comforting me and saying, okay, this is beyond you, but this is what we have. So let's just try and deal what we have, and not try to think too much about, other things that are out there. But, I knew she was just being strong for me, because a little background. She, before I got ill, she was one person who would, go ill now and again. And then I'm thinking, we have got children, and our children then were still young. The oldest was 14. No, in 2014. No, in 2014. This is 2015. In 2015, he was 13. Should be 12, 13, around there. 12 going to 13, suppose. Right. Then that's the oldest son that we have, and the youngest is a girl. She was still very young then. She was in grade 2. I'm saying, okay, look, if I'm in this situation where I'm being told that there is no coming back, and I know my wife, now and again she's always down, it means eventually these children are going to lose both of us. And if both of us are gone and they're this young, how are they going to take themselves from this point onwards? It's devastating. You're trying to say, okay, look, if you are a family person, you are a father, for instance, you feel you are the one who is protecting, your family, and if you are just gone just like that, and things are just turning out to be that way all of a sudden, you feel exposed. Your family is exposed. All the power is sort of being taken away from you, and that alone was devastating to me and to the family. Like I'm saying, I knew my wife was just trying to be strong for me, but I could see that she was going through hell trying to think how are we going to move on from here going forward.
So from the time you first got sick up to the time of diagnosis, how long does it take?
How long was that? It should be about 3 months, because I got sick from December. Actually, yeah, in December, that's when I had this minor accident that dislocated my collarbone, where I started to have these pains. That was December, January, February. In March, that's when the diagnosis was then made.
So all along you think, no, is this the accident?
Yes, all along I'm thinking it's the accident, because even the doctors are saying, okay, we don't see anything wrong in your body. That's probably is because your muscles were traumatized by the accident. So what you simply need is physiotherapy. So I was going for physio. Initially, I went for physio with a chiropractor who is somewhere here in the suburbs here, just close to Milton. So when I was going to see her, it's a lady. I remember there is a time I could not, lay down on the massaging bed. It was so difficult. And she would laugh at me. She's an old lady. She would laugh at me and say, not even a 90-old, behaves like you do. How are you failing to go onto this bed? Then I would say, I don't even understand. Because when I was trying to lean forward and even balance on the bed, I would feel as if, my chest here was separating into two. The pain was just unexplainable. And getting myself to lie down on there, to lift my legs and things like that, it was so difficult and painful. She would try and manipulate and do all these things, and for a moment feel as if something is improving, but immediately after, a few hours later, that pain will come back again. When I come back tomorrow, she will actually say, she was saying she was feeling some knots, when the body muscles tense, they form some knots on the. So she was saying she was feeling these knots as if, the muscles they will tighten up and become as hard as a bone, and she'll be surprised why that was happening. Then, seeing that it wasn't improving, I said, no, look, let me look for a second opinion. So I checked with other doctors and asked how I can be helped. Actually, I wanted to have them, check me, maybe take me through some scan or something like that. Then they said, no, from your history, it's muscle trauma. Muscle trauma. Just go to Mater Day. They referred me to Mater Day. To Mater Day, there's a physiotherapist there who is at Mater Day. So he started helping me. I also told him, because I was feeling the same thing. You would do one thing now, but it would not improve, or it will get worse after I'd left. So I told him, no, look, can't you try and do more checks? And he would say, no, there's nothing more to check. All we need is just to do physiotherapy. And it never improved. It actually got worse until I came to a point where I could not move from the house. Then, fortunate enough, when God has you covered, you'll be surprised to see even people that you have never thought about, or that you have never known, just come into your life and want to help. There is a certain couple. Our children went to the same school. They were actually in the same class. So they were sort of friends, these children. So when my daughter was at school, she would always ask for prayers from class, from the class members, to say, okay, may you help us pray for our father, he's not feeling well. And then this couple just took it upon themselves. They said, no, we've been praying for this man for a long time now. Why don't we reach out and ask them if they are willing to, let us try our family doctor to look at him. That's how I got help. That's how the diagnosis came about.
So you are diagnosed. Where do you go?
Now, after being diagnosed, I first went to UBH. At UBH, let me leave out. Let me not leave out this one though. It's a painful experience, but I feel I have to say it so that people know, even those who are in the medical field. I wish they can, have a heart to assist their patients, because what I see nowadays is, that passion, that calling that nurses used to have, I don't think it's there anymore. I think people are just there for money. I'm taken to United Hospital, but when I get there, I get a nurse who comes. I don't know whether that was a nurse or is an administration person. He comes to me at night. He actually wakes me up and says to me, "Why have you smuggled yourself into the hospital? I mean, tell me, for a person who is not even able to move, how do they smuggle themselves into that?" I mean, there is a time when you need to think about these things and say, okay, what made this situation to be like this? How did they get this person into this without maybe all papers done, something like that? But when I was taken to UPH, the Dr. Sasanure phoned one guy there and told them that they should take me into a ward. He's going to come there and see me. They should then do all the paperwork, because I can't move. They shouldn't take me to the administration office. They will do whatever they do and do my papers while I'm in the ward. But I suppose maybe this guy didn't didn't carry out the instruction as given. So maybe they didn't do the paperwork and all those other things. But how was I going to know? There was no way. Then this guy just comes and he harasses me and tells me, "Who do you think you are to smuggle yourself into a hospital? How can one smuggle themselves into?" I think if we come to such a situation in future, I'm just begging those who are in the medical field, please have patience and compassion. Just try and be empathetic and try to be in the shoes of those who are not feeling well, and see how affected they are, and help them from that situation. Because I was really affected. He scolded me and I wasn't happy. To make things worse, I get there. There's, it was, I think it was the second or so day. There are nurses there who are working at night, and I'm feeling this excruciating pain. I'm saying to them, when I was at home, my wife used to just lift my legs a bit and put a pillow underneath my knees and on my back. So can you maybe try and do that to help me relieve the pain? And he says to me, I'm at tea break. I can't attend to you. Surely, being in a hospital where people are dying, where you are supposed to be helping people out of their pain, you prioritize tea or you prioritize food. It's unheard of. It's inhuman, actually. Let me put it this way. From what I felt, this is what I'm saying. It's inhuman. Even if he was going to be in that situation and somebody tells him that, I'm still busy having my lunch when they are dying. It's something that is, I don't know how to put it better, but to me it's inhuman. And he's not even worried. From there, he tries to come to me with some junior doctor. They've got an injection that they've already opened, and they want to try and inject me and say, okay, look, let's relieve this pain, because we know you're frustrated because of the pain. Let's give you a painkiller, an injection. But what I know, the standard procedure says, from the experience that I have now, standard procedure says, if you're going to be given an injection, it should be opened before you, not an injection that comes already open. You don't know what is in there, and you don't know what people have done, and especially after quarreling. with someone like that. It doesn't work out that way. I don't know how this can be, even the authorities, how they can attend to this. But this is exactly what is happening to people who are in the hospitals right now.
So you moved to Harare. Does the treatment get any better?
It worsens instead, because I was also hoping when I get to Harare, things are going to be much better. But look, we get to Harare, we are in an ambulance, and when I get there, I'm being pushed in a stretcher. They say to my wife, push your stretcher and put the luggage that you have on somewhere around the stretcher there, or carry what you can and join the queue.
So the staff does not take you out of them?
No. I was taken out of the ambulance by the ambulance crew. They took me out of the ambulance and helped me into the hospital, the way I was given the stretcher. Then from there, now that the hospital staff has to take to be in charge, then they are not taking over. Instead, they are saying to my wife, push your trolley, your stretcher bed, and carry your goods. Follow this queue until you do all the tests. And they are doing tests that were done here in Bulawayo. Okay, if they had to verify, fine. It was supposed to be verified, but I think there is another better way of doing it for people who are in a serious condition. You look at a person, and you know he has been ferried from Bulawayo in an ambulance, and the condition that they are in, the person is not even able to sit, or he is lying down on their back, and that's all that they can do, and you still require them to join a queue.
You have moved to Harare in an ambulance because your situation is serious. You get there, you come in an ambulance because it's an emergency.
Yes.
But someone says join the queue with someone who has a headache.
Exactly. Yes.
Inquiring about where to buy condoms.
That they are not worried about. That they are not worried about. As long as we just have to follow the instruction, and if you don't, it means you won't get treated, and you won't get the attention that you need. For you to be able to do that, just follow the queue.
So how many days do you stay in Harare?
Harare, I went to Harare in March, April, March. It was I think it should be a month. I think I spent a month or just slightly over a month in Harare.
So are you getting any help, or you're just in the hospital?
I'm in hospital. Where I'm the only help that I got there initially was just getting painkillers, because when I got there, they said they were going to do tests first to find out, to verify whether the cancer that was detected here is really the cancer. Unfortunately, during that time, there was also a holiday in between. So the tests which were taken were sent to South Africa, I was told. And for them to come back, I think they took about 2 weeks or so. I'm still lying there, just getting painkillers. But, the pain that I'm getting, I'm feeling is out of this world. Excruciating pain. And during that time, the doctors were saying, I was having an infection. This infection was causing a lot of sweating. You are sweating all the time, but you are feeling very cold. The cold that you feel right up to the core of your bone. That's the cold that I was feeling. But at the same time, I'm sweating profusely. And I would ask for more blankets. They put more blankets to try and, give me warmth. But it wasn't helping. So during that time, paralysis is increasing for reasons that when I came in, when I was given the hospital bed where I was supposed to, in the ward where I was supposed to be in, the nurses didn't attend to me from 7:30 in the morning right up to about 11 o'clock when doctors were about to come. That's when they came. And so during that time, because I was in so much pain, they'd asked my wife to go because they said they were not going to help me when my wife was there. Then I was trying to, find a position, a comfortable position, because I was in so much pain, to look for a comfortable position. So as I was twisting and doing all those things,
You're injuring yourself.
I'm injuring myself. After those hours, when the doctors came and they were trying to, check how my limb functionality was, they find I'm no longer able to, move, not even at all. And then you look at it, look at the devastation. You are saying, okay, when I came in here, these things were still moving. I suppose if the nurses took care of me and helped me, I was going to be still able to move my limbs. And I suppose, actually, I always say, I would be in a better situation than I am now, because I think the damage that happened then was even worse. So for me to recover from a worse situation, it's obviously going to take long, and maybe I'm not going to be able to recover some of the functionality. But this is what it is. People who are supposed to help you are not giving you that. So I'm there. Now my limbs are not moving, and this paralysis is moving from the toes right up. I'm getting to a point where now it's above the abdomen, and then the doctors are saying you are no longer going to be able to move anymore.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. And besides that, like if I'm paralyzed up to here, it means my waist system is no longer, I'm no longer able to control that. And during that time, as I was sleeping in that hospital bed, sweating like I'm saying, and now having this problem of the waist system, it means you're just sweating yourself all the time, and you don't even feel. And then you ask the nurses and the hospital staff to help you, change the linen at least. And they tell you that, no, that cannot be done. And you cannot be an exception. It's done once in the morning, and that's it. So it means you spend the whole day like that. It's a painful situation. But this is what people are living with. And from that, I get bed sores. If I were to show you, or if you read this book, My Walk with God, it has got pictures in it. You will be surprised to see how big a sore I had on my sacrum. You could fit your whole fist in it, and but people were not worried about that. All they are worried about is just having time to sit at the nurse's desk and chat. When you call them, they will ridiculate you. It's really unfair. It's an unfair situation, but yeah, that's what it is. These are some of the sores, that I had. And with these pictures, we took them. It was they were getting a lot better here. When they were still very fresh, you wouldn't be able to look at them. So, yeah.
So, in this condition, how did you get to India?
After doing the test that they did, after seeing that I had cancer, then they initially had decided that I was going to get an operation to sort out the nerve pinch. But the operation was supposed to be done from the chest, going to the back there, Then we were very worried and saying, how are they going to deal with all the organs, opening the chest to go to the spinal cord? It's going to worsen. And the doctors were also afraid. They were actually saying themselves, in my hearing, because they would bring students there. They will say, we can do the operation, but our challenge will be hemorrhage. He's going to just bleed to death, because it's a serious operation, and getting there, it's quite difficult. So they then eventually decided, no, since they are confirming that it's cancer, let's not operate him. Instead, let's send him to an oncology center. They've got an oncology center where they deal with cancer only. So let's take him there. Maybe what simply needs to be done is maybe that what we are seeing as a pinch is because of the bone has become tumorous. So if they maybe do radiation and treat it with radiation, it might, relieve the nerve pinch. So they took me to the oncology center, where I was given that radiation dose, one dose. Then later on, they gave me chemotherapy medication. A few weeks, it was a week after, I think. Then they said, no, we have given you world-class treatment. So from here on, there's nothing more to do. All you'll be doing is just getting your chemotherapy tablet. So we cannot keep you here in the hospital. We have to go back to Bulawayo. Then I said, okay, I've never been in a hospital, but I don't think a person comes in a hospital in an ambulance and goes back in an ambulance again. So I can't understand. They said, no, that's the best that we can do. Then they called my wife and my young brother aside. My young brother then was in Botswana. He had to come down to assist my wife. So they were there together in Harare, and they told them, look, Sidney is not going to live more than 2 weeks. So it's pointless keeping him here. Besides, it's just an expense that you are accumulating, which is not going to help you. Take him back home, look for maybe a nurse aide or someone who can just help you for this period of time before he dies. Otherwise, there's nothing more that can be done. Then we insisted. They actually told me, my wife told me, and later on they also told me that, I wasn't going to be there for long. They actually called some counselors to come and counsel me so that, I accept the situation. But then I just refused to say, okay, we take this lying down. I said, no. Look, we still have an option. Why can't you allow us to go to India and try there? They said, no, it's pointless going to India. It's just waste of resources. And besides, in your condition, no aeroplane is going to be able to ferry you. So it's pointless. But we insisted until the doctors finally gave in. But the giving in was also a funny one, because the senior doctors couldn't write me a referral letter. So they asked a junior doctor who also just scribbled on some newsprint material, and, so that probably they
it's out of their way.
Yes, yeah. And besides, they cover themselves such that they would say, no, it's not them who actually did that. It's a junior doctor, probably he made a mistake. But when God is in anything, you will be surprised. You will always find a way. Like I said, even if you get to, the rock bottom and you think there is no way out of this place, God still has more than 1,000 ways of taking you out of such a situation. This doctor just then gives me this referral letter. We take it to the embassy, Indian embassy. They laugh at it. They say, it's a referral letter like this one. But, well, we understand your situation. We will just, help you. It doesn't matter, but it wasn't supposed to be like this. Anyway, it happens. I think from the condition that I was in, they were justified also to say, okay, no, look, we know this. There is no coming back from here. But, God is above everything. Then he allowed me to go to India.
How did you go there?
Going to India was another amazing story. Like I'm saying, I wasn't able to, now I was just lying on my back. I wasn't able to, have any other position, and it's difficult. Aeroplanes are saying it's difficult to carry such a person, but the Ethiopian Airways said, no, we can. Though it's going to, we are going to they actually charged us an arm and a leg because just my ticket one way, it was $6,500 US. For reasons that they had to fold 3 rows of seats, and put a stretcher there on top. So I had to pay for all those seats. And it was paying from Ethiopia right through Zambia to Zimbabwe, then for me to go to, to India. So yeah, it was quite expensive. But thank God, if people work together, things do happen, God leading. Family members. I've got a cousin who was then in Zimbabwe. There, she was a pilot there. She ran around to look. She's the one who found us this Ethiopian airline, and yeah, we had to go with that. So that's how I eventually managed to go to India.
So you get there, your first day in hospital. Do you see a change in, the way you are, received there and the treatment?
The treatment is worlds apart. I've always put it that way. It's worlds apart from the treatment that I'm complaining about here and the treatment that I get in India. Where you find a nurse doesn't even put on high-heeled shoes. All of them are in tennis shoes. And when you call them or you make a request, they actually run. They don't even ask you to wait a bit. They leave whatever they're doing and then they come and attend to you. To them, you are more important than anything else. And when we got to the hospital, it was in Ludhiana. It's called Apollo. It's Apollo group of hospitals. When we got there, we got a special welcome. We got there late. It was around 8 in the evening, I suppose, 7 to 8 around there. But we find the senior staff, the senior hospital staff is still waiting for us. Even the president of the hospital, he did not knock off because he knew I was coming. So he says, we know the condition of this guy. We need to find out first, welcome him and see how he can be helped, and then tell him everything that he needs to know so that he's comfortable. So when I get there, the marketing manager is there. He meets us. He comes with the president. They introduce themselves. Then they tell me that, look, if you have any problem here in this hospital,
marketing manager. If the marketing manager is not there, call the president himself. You feel so comfortable in such a place. Then you know that people are there to help you. And there's never a time when we complained and said, look, these guys are not treat us well. Because even the guy who sweeps the floors, they would come now and again. And after sweeping, the matron would come and ask, did they do a good job? After being fed, they would also come and check. The kitchen staff will come and check, did you enjoy the food? Were you treated well? All those things. The nursing staff, when the matron, after being given every medication that you're supposed to get, the matron comes along after a few or so minutes or hours. Then they check, is everything okay? Are they treating you well? Are you getting the medication on time? And it's like you are the only person there in that hospital. It's serious. And, from that treatment, you feel like even before you get the medication, you feel like you've been healed already. You've been treated.
So mentally everything changes.
Yes,
you now have hope.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's the kind of hope that gives healing. Yeah. That's what I got.
How long do you stay in India?
In India, I was in India for about 3 months. Yeah, I stayed there for about 3 months. But within those 3 months, there are a lot of things that improved. From the fact that I came in without limb function, when I went out, yes, I still couldn't move my limbs, but I was now able to sit. When I did, when I went there, they quickly did all the tests that they wanted to do, and Well, when they did the tests, they were also worried. Oh, they were very worried because they were saying, okay, look, yeah, your situation is very bad. We didn't think it was this bad. If we knew it was this bad, we would have not asked you to come. But since you are now here, let's just try and help you by just doing an operation to relieve you of the pain that you are in. But
strip to join the adjacent bones so that there's continuity on the spine. So they are saying we're no longer going to be able to do that because there's no way we can drill your bones. They are so weak. They are so soft now. It's impossible. But then I say to them, because like I said, we believe in God. We really believe in God. We just say to them, no, look, okay, we understand what you are saying. And the doctor didn't want to even talk to me. He spoke to my wife first, but my wife couldn't tell me. So then I asked him later on. That's when he divulged. But he wasn't even looking at me in the face when he said those words, because you could see he was really affected. But then I said to him, no, don't worry. If it's for the bones, God is going to give you. He's going to put the bones that you want. So worry about operating, because he was saying the possibility was I wasn't going to wake up. So then he asked me, are you sure of what you are saying? Because he thought I was saying this out of shock, But I was somehow I wasn't even affected by the news that he gave me. I did not get afraid of the news that he gave me, but all I did was somehow God gave me this ability to just accept this thing and see it as a challenge that I have, which I just have to deal with and go through it. Because I was just saying, look, if God wants this to happen this way, it's fine. I've accepted. Wherever God leads me, there I will go, whether to death or to life. It's fine with me. So the only thing now that we are looking at is to try and do our part to save life if we can. So because there's a time when that happened, my wife was given some forms to fill and told that no, this thing is very critical. She cried, she could not do it. Then I said to her, look, we're shopping for life here, it doesn't matter. I understood how she felt. She felt as if, because they were saying I wasn't going to wake up, if then she signs these forms and all that is done and I don't wake up, she has taken part in killing me. Then I said to her, no. You have done the best that you have done. Even if we don't do the operation, I'm going to die. So, but dying trying is much better than, having regrets to say, but maybe if we did this. And so that's how I got operated.
So you recover, now you're here, but you've also written 2 books. What inspired you to write the books?
We had to write these books because we are inspired by the situation that we are in. We are saying, we understand that there are so many people who are going through these difficult times. And besides, like I said with the issue of the inventions, I would get some of these messages, just coming to me at night, and then, where God would just be giving me some verses and some information to put down, and I would write those things down, and after that, then I would be able to sleep. Without that, I wasn't able to sleep. I would twist and turn and try to do this, but no, I wouldn't sleep until I did that. But the thing was, we understand that there are so many people who are going through pain, untold pain, and they feel maybe because they've been so unfortunate to go through that, they are the only ones who have had such an unfortunate time in their lives. But see if you can then read a book of someone that you know or that you have seen who has had difficult times in their life, and they've been able to go through. then you are also given strength to say, okay, it is, I can also be able to beat this. Yeah, that's.
As we conclude, my question or my question to you is, I mean, you're feeling much better. You know, what the plans for the future?
My future plans are, I've got, they are big actually. Yeah, I've got big future plans. My wish is, or my plan is, if God gives me, continue to give me life, and be able to change lives of people who are affected like I am, I should be able to touch, such lives. Because for me to get to the point where I am, I was helped by other people that I don't even know even up to this time, who had to go out of their way to, giving substantial amounts of money to help me. I am saying, if I can have life, I should be able to do some business, a business venture, like I'm trying to do this engine thing. If this works out, we should have as a family a fund that is specifically for people who are in such, a difficult situation, because people are suffering and some are dying just because they are lacking financial assistance, or just help from their fellow human beings. That's what we just need. So my plans are, to relieve the people of such, to be able also to get a business that is going to, first and foremost, help people of Lawai. If we can have these the engines running, suppose, if they work out and we build, we have a manufacturing point here. Imagine how many people are going to get employed and be assisted, be taken out of poverty, and people that are going to be trained. Because I feel before I also die, I should be able to help out even with this skill that I have now of training other guys who are not able to go maybe to colleges, and take them straight into the practical skills in the automotive industry, and just train them here. Because the guys that I have here, I trained them myself. All of them didn't go to colleges or to school for that. I just trained them. But when you see them do what they're doing now, you'll be surprised. You'll think, yeah, they've been taken. So this is how I want to touch lives and be effective to people, not those who help me only, but to everyone that I can get in touch with, that can probably help. And over and above that, be able to show, to direct people to God, who I think, helped me. This is why I wrote this as my walk with God. And show people that you can walk with God and He can direct your ways, and, take you from the dunghill, from a place where you think you're no longer going to be able to come from, and be able to live again.
Thanks. On that note, I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zenzele Ndebele.